Think about all the mistakes that you've made in your life. What if some of those mistakes you could look back on and say, wow, I'm glad they happened because they brought me to where I am today, and that you were able to glorify God through those mistakes and give him the credit for the changes that are happening. My next guest is named Billie Dyson, and he has got an amazing story to tell. He wrote the book called From the Dope House to the Hope House. Welcome, Billie.
Hey, how are you doing?
So good. I've been really looking forward to talking to you. Billie, we've
Yes.
all made mistakes, and I cannot wait to hear about your book. Share what the overall message is in this.
So the overall message is I was a young boy who grew up in church, but I quickly went into drugs. At 12 years old, I became the prodigal son himself. And the message is after 33 arrests in jail, going to jail, in and out of jail, and being on drugs and alcohol and that whole partying lifestyle, I never thought that Jesus, God, could love a person like me, but that was farthest from the truth. So the book is about for every person that's hooked on drugs in jail or have had a whole lifestyle of that and think that there's no hope for their life. This book will give every individual, even to the family member, a great hope and a future. After they read this, they will see that their life can just start literally brand new.
We've all made mistakes. It doesn't identify who we are, though, right? And it
Right.
sounds like you had a hard time believing that there was anything on the other side.
Right.
Let's talk
Well,
about that.
I was always labeled as the drug addict criminal. And
Hmm.
that's what everybody is labeled, and that's really what the world looks at those people as a drug addict or a criminal. But really every person is a child of God. So they're not a drug addict, they're not a alcoholic. They can change their life quickly with the power of God. So they are definitely loved by God, and they are human beings that can radically change everything and live for God and be successful people thereafter.
You're saying don't claim that as your name. Don't let that be your label.
No, do not, and don't even allow the people around you that call you that. If you would literally turn around and give your life to God and surrender to Him, your whole life can change. Of course, you're going to have to obey and do things, but ultimately, when you turn everything over to Him, things will start changing. Your name is definitely not drug addict, criminal, or junkie. Not by any means. You are
Mm.
loved by God.
We could all label ourselves with something that we've done, even if it's not drugs. I mean,
Right.
what was the turning point for you? What made the difference? I mean, 33 arrests you had to have encountered, I don't know, faith or opportunity before. What was the one that changed your life?
Well, the one that I came to the end of myself. It was the 33rd arrest. Jesus Christ of Nazareth died on the cross at 33 and
Yeah,
rose again on
yeah.
the third day. This was my 33rd arrest, and I had three children at that point, and they had a dad that was in and out of jail and hooked on drugs. And I said, I just cannot do this anymore. So I believe that God put a measure of faith within me to radically call out to Him and ask Him to please save me. And that's where it all started, inside of a jail cell. Inside of a jail cell is where it started. That's where, up to this point, I now have 7 years clean, off drugs, off alcohol, and out of jail.
And two more children, so you've got a total of five
And
now.
two more children.
Two that
Yes.
never saw their dad go through the tough times. They're just going to be able to hear the miraculous story of
Yes.
change.
Yes. Thank God.
Yeah. So you're living proof that there is success after drugs, after mistakes. It doesn't identify us. What does that take? What is when you talk about complete surrender? What does that take?
It takes basically humility. You have to
Mm,
come to the end of yourself and say, I need your help, God. You need to put everything down at his feet. I had to lower my pride. I literally had to get off of my high horse that I thought that I was on. It was really a horrible horse. And I had to just lay all the pride and everything down at his feet and ask to completely start over. Um, uh, I mean, you have to give your whole life to God, and that's what I had to do, and that brought me to the point of these 7 years of now being a small business owner, which I never thought that would ever be possible, and writing a book. And on Amazon, it got first place in 3 different categories upon its release. That's something that nobody, including myself, ever thought that somebody who's been arrested 33 times in and out of jail and hooked on drugs half of your 3/4 of your life. So that right there, that can tell anybody that Jesus is definitely real, because that's something that really doesn't happen too often. But with him, everything can happen.
I mean, you see yourself as living proof, like him curing you, him healing you is living proof that there is a God. That is what it took for you to
Yes,
believe. And you kind of feel like if I'm able to change, anybody can,
correct. Oh, yes, for sure.
because you feel like you were at the bottom of the barrel. Like there's the barrel and then you went even deeper.
Oh, yes. Yes, I felt like, not to mention, I had 3 overdoses during these years, and 2 of them were up like on death. Basically, they told my family to
Wow.
get his casket ready, get all the funeral arrangements ready. Now, let me tell you something. That was a big turning point in itself, because when I woke up 2 of the 3 times, there was a crowd of people praying over me. Now, that's 2 of the 3 times when I woke up out of a coma, um, with people praying over me. So that was right there. That showed me God was right there with me.
Absolutely. He sent those people ahead and were kind of paving the way. And you're not just mentoring and counseling, you're putting your money where your mouth is with this. You're giving back in lots of big ways. Can you share about that?
Yes. Me, I like to do it with my children. We go around to the homeless. That's a big thing, because the majority of homeless people are hooked on drugs and alcohol. So around the surrounding cities, we go around to them. We hand out books, prayer. If the Lord leads to give money, food, clothing, we do that. And most of all, spread the love of Jesus Christ to them. We do that around the surrounding cities. We are trying to get a halfway house. It's in the works by faith, trying to get a halfway house for people getting out of prison and out of drug rehabs, that they would have a safe place before entering into society. We want to show them how to live a life of on standing on the rock of Jesus, and to show them how to work, like instead of stealing, to work instead, and how to invest. These are all things that somebody needs to know, because a lot of people that get out of jail, in prison, they can't get hired. So that's what we are in the works. We're believing by faith that some people can come together, and it'll happen. It'll happen one way or another. We're going to have a place, and multiple places thereafter for them to go to.
Billy Dyson, thank you so much. Again, author of From the Dope House to the Hope House. We thank you so much for what you're doing. And where is your book available?
It is available on Amazon, and it's available from dope to hope 777.com.
Awesome. Billy, thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.